Hello and welcome to Comcast Local Edition in Annapolis. I'm Donna Richardson, and my guest this hour is Delegate Heather Mizeur, representing District 20. Delegate Mizeur, thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
As a resident, we understand what goes on a little bit when everyone comes to session in Annapolis, but maybe not all the details. And I know you're working for a Maryland Open Government Act so that there's more transparency.
Yes, this piece of legislation would try to tackle and make government more open both at the legislative level and at the powerful Board of Public Works. Within the legislature, the bill calls for, and we've won one small victory already that this legislation has produced, in having our committee votes be posted online. In addition to the votes we take in committee being posted online, we want those committee hearings to be broadcast online. We want to make it easier for citizens to sign up to testify in advance online rather than having to come to Annapolis and wait for hours for a bill hearing to start. Give them a better sense in advance when that hearing might get going. And remove the $800 up to the minute access fee to have access to all the information that's going on our website. Make that free to everybody. And we're replacing that lost revenue with an increased tax on state lobbyists to pay for it. Now, the Board of Public Works, which is made up of our governor, our comptroller, and our treasurer, they make really important decisions on how to keep our budget balanced when the legislature's not in session. But we don't always have access to all the information that they're considering, so we want to also have the board post all of its budget items in advance to give opportunity for public comment period and to have their proceedings broadcast online as well.
I think the residents would be very interested in that because you may not always have the opportunity to actually come down to be a part of what's going on in the session.
Exactly.
So
and we've got nearly 500 citizens across the state who have signed a new petition that we have related to supporting this bill. And the bills have garnered over a majority of both chambers in the House and the Senate in co-sponsors. So we're feeling very confident of this bill's chances for passage this session.
Now, also, another bill that you have been working on is the Family Planning Act. And explain that to the residents.
Well, the Family Planning Works Act combines good fiscal policy with good public policy. We can make one change in family planning policy that would save the state $35 to $50 million a year. Right now, low-income women cannot qualify for Medicaid family planning services until after they've already had their first baby. So how much family planning assistance is that really? And the cost to the state once that baby is born and enrolled in the Medicaid program is pretty significant. If we change it instead and say that you can be eligible for family planning services based on your income eligibility rather than your postpartum status, we can help women do better family planning, have better birth outcomes, and we can save the state a significant amount of money along the way.
It's like take care of it on the front end instead of on the back end.
Exactly.
And now also, we have about a minute and a half left. I want to get your thoughts on the Maryland Family Medical Leave Act, because I know the federal government did at some degree, but
we want to improve on it. The Family and Medical Leave Act that exists in law right now allows a resident to take up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave to care for a spouse, a parent, or a child. We want to expand the kinds of family members that you can take leave for and change the definition to include grandparents, siblings, wounded soldiers, domestic partners, and the children of domestic partners as well. In a tough economy like this, we want to encourage people to be able to have job security when they have to take leave for an unexpected emergency to care for a family member in need.
And that's helpful because today's families don't look the same as they did years ago.
Absolutely. We are more often being a sandwich generation where we're taking care of our parents and our grandparents on top of our children and other family members. And until we get marriage equality in this state, we need to create equality for domestic partnerships to be viewed as families that are protected as well.
Exactly. And Delegate Mizeur, thank you so much for taking time out.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. My guest this hour has been Delegate Heather Mizeur, representing District 20. And if you're interested in what Comcast is doing in your community, go to On Demand and click Get Local. For Comcast Local Edition in Annapolis, I'm Donna Richardson.